Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Again, today we have with us an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dharma Sansthan to discuss the Kalki avatar through the perspective of art of living lens. Sir, so does Shakti Kriya contribute to this transformation? Yes, Shakti Kriya is more intense than Sudarshan Kriya. It triggers profound prana flows that dissolve deep-rooted samskaras. It's like calling upon an inner warrior of Kalki, energy who destroys inertia and recharges life. Are there any personal stories that remind you of Kalki? Yes, a young man from Delhi consumed by addictions came for a happiness program. After a few Sudarshan Kriyas and satsangs he shared, it's as if a dark demon left me. This is Kalki, not mythical, but practical saving lives here and now. How do pujas and homas of Vedic Dharma Sansthan embody Kalki's energy? Through Narayan Homa, Chandi Homa, and Rudra Homa, we invoke divine forces to remove planetary afflictions and inner negativities. These are ritualistic swords of Kalki. Many who perform them feel lighter as if burdens are lifted. In a global context, can such wisdom heal social dharma? Yes, Gurudev says global interventions like dialogues with militants, trauma relief in prisons, our modern Kalki acts, he cuts through hate and plants compassion. Even our breathing workshops in conflict zones heal minds poisoned by decades of adharma. So, how is Sanyam program of level 1 and level 2 related to Kalki? Sanyam is a silent retreat, blending deep meditation, hollow and empty processes, silence, nature, like meeting Kalki on the white horse within. It purges lifetimes of impressions, allowing true dharma to shine. What role does yoga play here? Asanas balance prana, destroy disease seeds, and sharpen the mind, equipping you to live with dharma. Patanjali says Abhyasa Vairagya is the ultimate Kalki principle, steady practice and non attachment, slaying inner enemies daily. Are there symbols of Kalki in other cultures? Yes, many cultures await a returning savior, be it the Messiah, the Maitreya, or Mahadi. These are archetypes of hope, much like Kalki, pointing to cycles of restoration after chaos. How has Gurudev spoken on Kalki directly? Yes, in many satsangs, Gurudev says Kalki is not to fear; it is the dawn after darkness. He jokes, you don't have to wait for a horse to descend. Your breath, your smile can become Kalki today. So, what is the significance of the white horse? The horse symbolizes prana or swift, powerful, noble. Kalki riding a white horse is prana purifying nadis. In Shastra, horses also symbolize mind's speed. This controlling and directing it towards dharma is Kalki's mastery. How does Trikal Sandhya act like a Kalki process? Trikal Sandhya or the moon, noon, and evening prayers keeps us aligned to cosmic cycles, constantly cutting tamas. It's a gentle daily wielding of Kalki's sword, so darkness doesn't accumulate. Jai Gurudev, so how does chanting mantras act like wielding Kalki's sword? Yes, Jai Gurudev. Mantras are vibrational tools that cut through lethargy, confusion, and fear. Each syllable vibrates in specific nadis or energy channels, cleansing them. This Gayatri mantra, Mahamrityunjay mantra, or Vishnu Sahasranama become like Kalki's sword slashing through ignorance. Gurudev often reminds us chanting purifies collective consciousness. When families sit together and chant, negative energies dissipate, much like dark forces fleeing before Kalki. How does Seva or selfless service express Kalki's work today? Seva, Jagadev, is a direct strike at selfishness, the root of Adharma. When you feed the hungry, educate underprivileged children, or organize environment cleanups, you become a modern Kalki destroying social neglect. Gurudev says, when you take responsibility for the world, you erase small mindedness. Many volunteers share how Seva replaced depression or anger with joy, a beautiful personal Dharma restoration. Why do people wait for an external Kalki instead of awakening inner Kalki? Because it's easier to expect someone else to fix things. Yes, true transformation is inward. Gurudev jokes, you want Kalki to come and fix your neighborhood, but will you clean your mind first? Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and wisdom talks kindle the self effort. We become less reactive, more loving, Kalki riding within us. In your experience, how does Padma Sadhana remove inner adharma? Padma Sadhana is a graceful yoga sequence taught by Gurudev, blending asanas with deep stillness. It unfolds like a lotus symbol of purity. Practitioners notice emotional clutter melting away. One man burdened by guilt and shame said after 40 days of Padmasadhana he felt reborn. Light, like some internal demon, was slain. Kalki indeed. So, what role does family play in sustaining dharma in this age? Yes, family is the first Gurukula when parents encourage children to do Sandhya Vandanam, listen to Gurudev's talks, or participate in homas. They install dharma circuits. Thus, the family becomes a Kalki field, preventing adharma from taking root in the next generation. How can schools integrate this Kalki principle? Yes, many schools globally now teach meditation, pranayama, even short wisdom tales from Ramayana and Mahabharata in Art of Living says yes programs for youth. We see aggressive students becoming gentle. One principal told us these kids used to fight daily, now they meditate and do seva projects. That's Kalki says restoring harmony. Are there rituals specifically invoking Kalki in temples? Yes, certain Vishnu temple hold annual Kalki Jayanti pujas with special archana, chanting of Kalki stotra from Agni Puran, and processions of a white horse deity. These ceremonies remind communities to introspect what adharma must I destroy in myself this year. Does silence or Mona have any link to Kalki? Yes, deep silence is incredibly powerful. Gurudev says silence acts like a fire that burns impurities without struggle. During Sayam program of level 1 and level 2 or silence retreats, old impressions surface and dissolve. Participants emerge lighter, sometimes with tears of gratitude. I didn't realize how heavy my mind was. This quiet purging is Kalki's subtle work. How does the practice of Sandhya Vandanam daily sharp character? Yes, Sandhya Vandanam done at dawn, noon, and dusk anchors us to truth three times daily. It reminds us of cosmic rhythms, burns rajas tamas, and cultivates sattva. Thus, it checks mental and emotional toxins before they accumulate, acting as Kalki's preventable blade. What changes do you see in people after art of living courses? The transformation is stunning. Angry people become calm, the fearful gain confidence. Many share how Sudarshan Priya removed the suicidal thoughts. One lady said, it's like my mind was a dark forest, and after Kriya, Kalki rode through, clearing a sunlit path. Gurudev says, that's the real revolution. Change yourself first. Jai Gurudev, so as we continue, so what is the symbolism of Kalki's blazing sword? Yes, the sword represents discrimination or viveka, the ability to slice truth from falsehood, dharma from adharma. When we chant Gayatri or study scriptures, this sword sharpens us. Kalki's sword is not violence but cutting ignorance. How do mass meditations help society, says Adharma? In global events, thousands meditate together, creating collective coherence. Gurudev often says when large groups meditate, crime rates drop, communities reconcile. This is Kalki not riding a horse but seated on a million peaceful hearts, transforming of collective karma. So, what are some contemporary social adharmas Kalki would target? Corruption, environmental neglect, domestic violence, communal hatred. Gurudev tirelessly works on these two campaigns like Mission Breathe Earth and Stress Relief workshops in conflict zones. Each volunteer becomes Kalki's hand, restoring dharma. So, why does Gurudev emphasize joy and celebration even amidst dark times? Because celebration is defiance of adharma. Depression, gloom, rigidity fuel negativity. Gurudev often quotes, sorrow is adharma's shadow. Be happy and you stand in the sun where shadows vanish. Thus, laughter and singing in satsangs are Kalki's joyous victory marches. How does Upanayana protect you today? Yes, it equips them with sacred practices like Gayatri Japa, Sandhya Vandanam, embedding dharma from young age. Instead of drifting towards vices, they grow with clarity like warriors prepared to cut distractions. In that way, Upanayana initiates them into Kalki's path. Are there stories of Gurudev intervening like Kalki? Yes, many in Colombia, warring factions sat together in Gurudev's presence. He dissolved decades of hatred with a few words or breaths and breaths. One militant cried, I carried hate for 30 years, but it's gone. That is Kalki's riding not on a horse but on the breath. What about rituals like Agni Karam? Are they relevant in urban life? Absolutely. A simple daily offering to fire at home purifies subtle atmospheres. Modern life breeds mental toxins like jealousy, fear, and stress. Fire offerings carry prayers, upward burn negativity. Even a ghee lamp before a deity invokes Kalki's purifying power. How does Sehet Samadhi meditation deepen Kalki's work? The Sahaj takes you beyond the mind effortlessly. Old hurts, resentments dissolve. Many who struggle with insomnia or rage find themselves sleeping peacefully, smiling more. This is Kalki dismantling mental monsters of meditation's quiet light. How do books by Gurudeva act like Kalki's wisdom? Books like Celebrating Silence or An Intimate Note to the Sincere Seeker carry sharp, loving truths. People often write to say, the one line cut through my confusion, I felt so free. That's Kalki's gentle yet uncompromising sword of knowledge. Does modern science support this inner transformation? Yes, studies show Kriya reduces cortisol, boosts immune genes, and even alters brain structures favorably. This is empirical proof of Kalki energy dismantling adharma, stress, anxiety, depression on cellular levels, Jay Gurudev.